Welcome back to the gun dungeon. Still sitting there loading on some 300 blackout. So nothing new or exciting to talk about there. We're just going to jump straight to the point and what the topic is today and why I think 10 millimeter is the best handgun cartridge available. Now I know everybody's going to say, well, I've watched your channel for a while. You're just biased with 10 millimeter. And I am. But there's a reason for it. Because I think it's the best handgun cartridge available. And really, if I was limited to revolvers, I would say 357 Magnum would be my choice of why it's the best. And it's essentially the same concept, the same principles of why I think 10 millimeter is better. I'm just giving the edge to the 10 millimeter over the 357 Magnum because I prefer semi-automatic handguns for more capacity, less weight, yada, yada, yada. But when you think about it, 10 and 357 really share a lot in common because they can do essentially anything, especially if you're a hand loader. And even if you're not a hand loader, there are companies out there that make whatever range of ammunition you want for 10 millimeter and 357 Magnum. So to get to the point, the reason is you can shoot anything from super hot, heavy bear loads all the way down to 135 grain zipping loads that are screaming at 16, 1700 feet a second, or those same 135 grain loads going at 900 feet a second, which would be a lot less recoil and still be fairly effective. But you can have anything in between as well. And that is one of the big reasons that I love 10 millimeter. I can sit here at this press and I can make something that my daughter can shoot comfortably in any gun that I own chambered in 10 millimeter. Or I can sit here and load ammunition that I don't even really like shooting because it thumps the palm of my hand so hard. And you have that option with 357 as well. And something also kind of familiar is you have short versions of each. With 10, you have the 40 short and weak, which I shouldn't really call it that because I am a 40 Smith & Wesson fan. I do like 40. And in 357 Magnum, you got the 38 Special. Now, 38 Special was before 357 Magnum, and 40 Smith & Wesson was the product of 10 millimeter being too stout for little dinky FBI agents and their soft little girly hands that couldn't handle real 10 millimeter. But that's where 40 Smith & Wesson was born. Now, I can say all that, and there are some limitations to 10 millimeter, and essentially it has to do with the cartridge length. You know, you're not going to fit 10 millimeter into a gun that was designed around 9 millimeter. It's just not going to happen. But if 45 ACP will fit in it, then 10 millimeter will fit in it. And there you go. 10 millimeter does have a disadvantage when it comes to ammo cost. It's more popular now than it was, so it's definitely more available now than it was, say, 10 years ago. And I think that's just going to get better and better. I've seen more manufacturers making firearms in 10 millimeter in the last, 5 or 6 years than I had my whole life. XDMs, M&Ps, FN, several makers. Used to, it was, you got a Glock or a 1911 or maybe a EAA Witness or something, and that was about all the options you had outside of the Bren 10 or the 3rd gen Smith & Wessons. But now that, you've got several options that you didn't have before. Now, I will say this, what would complete my thesis on why 10 millimeter is the best would be if someone, Smith & Wesson, Springfield, Glock, would chamber it in one of their single stack subcompact models like the Glock 36, which is still a bit chunky, or the XDS. That would be one of my preferred options. Or even the Shield that has the Shield 45. You could put a 10 millimeter in a Shield 45 platform. And in my opinion, that would be a killer little summer carry piece. Because in the summertime, which I probably should do, I'm thinking about doing an actual video on this. Let me know if y'all be interested in it. I want to do a heavy clothing, like a winter clothing test, maybe just in the jail, maybe chickens. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But I do it too. I switch from summertime carry, basically just because the gun's smaller, 9mm, 30 super carry is what I typically carry in the summer. And then in the wintertime, when I'm wearing a coat or something, you know, over top of just a single t-shirt, I'll switch to my Glock 29, XDM 3.8, something like that. But I don't know that winter clothes really affects terminal performance all that well, or all that much, at least as much as people say that it does. And there's really only one way to find out, and that's to test it. So I was thinking about doing like, just either, if I do chickens or gel, either one, just put a single t-shirt layer on, shoot it. Maybe shoot it a couple times. See how the bullet does. And then do like, I've got an old Carhartt. Matter of fact, it's hanging right here. I shot out of the pockets of it already. It's just a beat up old jacket. But do like one layer of that, because, you know, frontal shot, you're just going to have one layer. Flannel shirt, t-shirt, undershirt. I don't know. Maybe y'all give me some suggestions here. But just, you know, some heavier clothes, maybe a layer of denim in there, and see if that and how much it affects terminal performance. But back to the point, since it says rambling, I do tend to ramble. Back to the point, if there was a subcompact single stack option in 10mm, that would definitely make me even more so inclined to say the 10mm was the best concealed carry cartridge or handgun cartridge. But if I was limited to where I could only have one handgun, it will be something chambered in 10mm. Because like I said, it can cover everything from home defense, concealed carry, woods carry, even bear defense. I don't have bears. Talked about a lot. I don't know many people that actually defend themselves from bears outside of Alaska maybe, but it's talked about a lot in the gun community for some reason. But you'd have that option with 10mm. I don't know of another handgun cartridge that fits in a semi-auto that you could say that comfortably with. Maybe 45 ACP. Some of those heavy hard casts are pretty stout, but you're gonna get more capacity with 10mm. So win. There's a win right there over 45 ACP. I'm going to make some fuds mad. But regardless, that's just my thoughts on it. And man, what I wouldn't give for a Shield, single stack Shield 10mm. Come on, guys. Come on, Smith & Wesson. You know you can do it. I think it'd sell like hotcakes. Now, don't get me wrong. You start letting off some 200 grain XTP blue dot loads out of that sucker, you're going to know it. You are going to know it. But you don't always have to shoot that either, you know. It's if you're an FBI agent, it's okay. We all have our downfalls. Not everybody can be strong, manly men. I understand. You can download it, make it 40 Smith & Wesson velocities, even drop in a barrel if you need to. You know, if you're really, really that upset and you're running out of Badger Seal, just drop in a 40 Smith & Wesson barrel, roll on. You know, you got that option. But 357 Magnum, they make air weights in 357 Magnum. People still shoot those, not very much. They don't shoot a whole lot at once, not 357 Magnums anyways, but they make them. You know, that's going to be just as punishing, if not more so, than a single stack 10mm would, single stack subcompact 10mm. Just my thoughts on that. So, I mean, I've suggested on forums before the single stack subcompact 10mm, and it seems like it often gets met with, oh, it would be too painful to shoot. Again, Scandium Frame 357 Magnum. That is not a pleasant handgun to shoot either. but they make it. So, anyways, that, my friends, is why 10 millimeter is the best millimeter. And if I could only have one handgun cartridge, it would be Colonel Jeff Cooper's 10 millimeter. And I would carry the most punishing loads I could carry in it because I ain't no FBI agent. Well, that's what I got for you today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And until next time, guys, stay tuned.